All right, hey everybody, welcome to the webinar. We'll get started in a couple minutes or so, so feel free to go for a quick, what do they call them? Oh, I guess it's a washroom break, I suppose. A
I'll
bio break.
get
Yeah,
some
go for a quick,
water.
exactly. Yeah, water, a good snack. It's around
Yes.
lunchtime, depending where you're at. In the meantime, too, feel free to throw into the chat where you're all calling in from. It's always a cool part of our jobs to kind of see where everybody is
Hmm.
from. I guess in the meantime, we'll do a couple of quick introductions and we'll obviously get started formally in a couple of minutes. But yeah, I'm up here in Ottawa. My name is Benny, up in Canada myself. Anna, how about you?
Yeah, I'm here in Kitchener, an hour outside of Toronto, also Canadian as well.
Yeah, it looks like we also have a few other folks from up here, Montreal,
Yeah,
Toronto as well.
Montreal, California.
Very nice. Texas, Virginia, very
Ooh.
warm. We're starting to get a little bit of your weather up here. It's not quite there. We got a taste of it. We're in the mid 70s, give or take, I think. Anyways, we're not the most familiar with Fahrenheit up here, but it got really warm, at least where I was at yesterday and the day before. And then we have a frost warning tonight. So
Oh,
uh,
great.
yeah, so gotta love it up here.
Gotta love that. New Jersey, love it. Oh
Nice.
my goodness.
MS, is that Mississippi? Um,
I'm guessing so,
cool.
Mississippi.
Texas needs needs to keep the rain in their state. Yeah, fair enough.
Yes.
A little bit of rain. Is it really bad? Like flood levels almost, or
Oh,
that's
I,
tough. It's always like between droughts or these like or floods or frost or one thing or another. It'd be
yeah.
nice to have a nice, easy agricultural year. Also fair, yeah, good point. That's a very good point. Don't want to have rain on the holiday. Understandable. Hopefully just sunshine and patios, ideally.
Yes. I love a patio.
Agreed. Okay, yeah, looks like we've got a good mix of folks. All right, I think we're probably good to be getting started, give or take. Yeah, currently 91 in Florida. Holy,
Wow.
there are a couple degrees up here. That'll be all right.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I guess yeah, we'll get started informally a little bit now. Yeah, so as mentioned, my name is Benny. I'm on the solutions consulting team here at Vidyard, up here in Ottawa, Canada. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks as well to our friend Anna here also joining us. Anna, why don't you introduce yourself?
Of course. Thanks, Binny. So, yeah, I'm on the XDR team. That means I work on inbound leads and outbound leads as well, but also take some meetings for disco calls. And then we do a lot of heavy prospecting. And then, of course, videos included in that. And so, yeah, just excited to walk you through kind of what we have today and how also I use it in my prospecting as well.
Yeah, which there's so many great use cases of and situations as well where Anna and her team are leveraging both video and video agent and there's all sorts of different aspects of not only our platform but also our integrations to be able to just work with our customers and contacts that much more effectively. So definitely looking forward to hearing some of those stories and experiences.
Thank you.
Um, for those of y'all that are joining us here across North America by the looks of things, again, thank you all for coming. For those of you that are familiar with the workshop series, you likely know already that this is, well, I guess you already know this. And then for those that are new, this is what this is all about. These workshop series are all about where our team will walk you all through different practical ways to get the most out of the Vidyard platform. So whether it be just different functionalities of it, or various integrations, or various use cases leveraging Vidyard, it's really kind of a walkthrough of all those different situations across the entire workshop series. And so ultimately, these sessions give you examples rather of hands-on examples of the platform and how you could take different use cases and aspects of the platform and put them into action right away. And also for those past sessions, if you've happened to have missed them, you can access them on demand in case you did miss them.
Also, sorry, just to interrupt, I'll also follow up after this webinar with a link to the today's session as well.
Yeah, great call out. Speaking of follow-ups as well, we will also follow up with any sort of answers to questions and whatnot that we don't get to during the actual session here today. But if you do have questions about things, please let us know about those. There is a dedicated Q&A section of this webinar interface that we ask you to please put those questions into. It just makes it easier on us to be able to track those questions that are being asked as well as what's being answered. We do have some folks, in addition to, well, Anna's here, and then we also have some folks on the marketing team as well that are going to be coming in and looking at those questions and answering them as we go. So try to have those questions in the, or rather try to make sure they're in the Q&A section. But then any additional comments y'all have about things, we love the engagement. So definitely throw that into the webinar chat. It's always cool to kind of hear your thoughts about things as we're going. And if you do happen to throw some questions in there, I'll try to keep an eye on that too. But ideally, those questions are in the Q&A tab, which again, if we don't answer those questions over the course of today's session, we will also follow up with those afterwards as well. Okay, I guess with that now, we should get right to it. Um, so yeah, let's get right to it. And I will change my slide here. So, over the last few sessions, we've covered quite a lot of information. So, we've covered everything from how to leverage the Chrome app within Vidyard to record videos. We've taken a look at how to leverage various tools like speakers notes within. We've looked at AI video as well and how to leverage AI avatars, how to create AI avatars, how to create campaigns and scale up our video outreach, leveraging those campaigns. We've even taken a look at automating sendouts via, let's say, HubSpot, via tools like Zapier, as well as leveraging AI insights that we present within the Vidyard platform. And then last session, we then took it to the basics. It was almost like a throwback Thursday in some senses, where we took a look at what it looks like to leverage the Chrome app. How can we record videos? How can we share videos? How can we polish those videos? How can we update thumbnails, add call to actions to them, leverage dynamic titles, all those functions to generally just create videos and get them out there, whether it be leveraging our real selves or leveraging AI, are more or less the topics we've covered in the past. And so today we're going to continue in this theme of generally staying practical, except we're going to be moving a little bit deeper with respect to our integrations and how can we create and send out videos within specific workflows. Because admittedly, once you have videos within Vidyard, once you've created them, whether it be through our Chrome extension, leveraging your real self, or leveraging your digital version of yourself using an avatar, the next question really becomes, how can we make these videos easy to access? How can we easily grab these videos to send them out, whether it be from a sales context or even a marketing context? And then how can we then track those video views that we're getting within the tools we're already using today? So certainly within Vidyard, sure, but then also perhaps within our CRMs like a HubSpot or Salesforce or other platforms. So today in particular, sorry, yeah, so that's going to be the question that we'll be asking here today.
Love it. So yeah, today we'll be walking through how to set up the HubSpot integration, connect Vidyard with your CRM and marketing tools. Also choose how to choose which folders and videos can sync, and then send videos through tools like Gmail and Outlook, add tracking, and then view engagement activity directly in HubSpot contact timelines. The goal is to help you leave with more connected workflow, not just knowing how to send videos, but knowing how to make that video work inside the system your team already uses. And yeah, definitely for me, it's just like, how do I use video in my prospecting? When do I use AI avatars? When do I create an organic video? But also how to do that out of your CRM. So that way it's just really easy for you guys to create videos and send it as well. And then a lot of teams I speak with today are already creating videos, but they really want to understand the connective tissue, where the video lives, which tools they can send from, how tracking works, and where that engagement shows up when someone watches. And a lot of times, folks like yourself already believe in video, but it's having that muscle to do it consistently over and over within the tech stack that you have. So that way, it just makes it a lot easier for you guys to send videos, get the insights and analytics, and just not make it such a heavy lift on your day to day. So, you guys are all here because the video is already a part of your team, how your team communicates, or you're trying to make it more consistent part of your workflow, which we've been discussing a little bit. And then after onboarding, one of the most common questions is not just how do I record a video? It's things like where should my videos live? How do I make sure the right video shows up in HubSpot? Can I send it from Gmail or Outlook? How does tracking work? And where do I actually see if someone watched it? So we'll give you those answers today so you're not mining for all those insights and analytics. And again, making it easier for you to implement video in your day-to-day. So that's what we'll be covering later on. But also, because Vidyard is most useful when it's not just sitting off on the side as another place to log into, it really works best when it connects into the tools your team already uses, your CRM, your marketing tools, your email, and your contact records. So today is the full path, connecting to tools, syncing the right videos, sending them from the right places, and turning on tracking and seeing the engagement activity where your team can actually use it. By the end, you should have a clear picture of how all these pieces fit together. So your videos are again easier to find, easier to send, and easier to measure. So yeah, I'm gonna hand it off to Benny and he's gonna be able to show you what this looks like.
All right, thanks, Ariana. Yeah, there's so many great use cases for it. I'd love to hear how you're using it as well. Yeah, it's such a great way to connect with people, and the fact you're able to do so within the tools you're using today is awesome to hear. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look at how we actually set this all up. Now, to do this, what we're going to first want to do is pop into our Vidyard environments to naturally connect a system to Vidyard. Today, we're going to be talking about HubSpot, but it's worth noting that you could do this with pretty much any other partner system that we have. And so before we do this, though, it is worth mentioning that whoever's setting up these integrations do need to have access to the folders that we're setting up these integrations for, as well as to have edit permissions within those same integrations or within those same folders, rather. For those of you that are maybe wondering, what am I talking about with respect to folders and all that within the context of a Vidyard? And I will try to pull up something for you all. Within the Vidyard interface, we do have a great folder structure to organize our video content. And so you can have an unlimited number of folders within the platform to organize your videos. And within those folders, you can have an unlimited number of videos. The one caveat that's worth mentioning is that we do have a limit of any one video does have to be less than 24 hours. So if you want to hold 123-hour, 59-minute, and 59-second videos, that's fine by us. Just make sure there's not an extra second on those videos or we won't be able to take it. But all to say, you can organize your videos in a lot of different ways. And so within your videos, within these folders rather, there's a lot of power held at the folder level. We've gone over some of it in previous sessions, like design settings that are automatically inherited within, or security settings perhaps that are inherited by the videos within. But there's quite a bit more beyond that as well. Even integrations can also be set up at the folder level. So if we want to set up a particular integration for a particular set of videos and not others, we can do it by, let's say, organizing those videos that we do want to have be integrated and have insights be passed into our partner platforms for how the integration be set up there and not those other folders. And all subfolders under the integration folder will also inherit that integration as well. So all to say, there's a lot of flexibility with respect to where you set up these integrations and how you set them up via the folder structure provided by Vidyard. And so with that in mind, I'm going to come into my demo account here, and I've already gone into a particular folder here, my Bini test environment folder. This is just the parent folder for the account. And so anything that I set up here, unless overridden against any of these subfolders, will automatically be applied to these same subfolders. And so for today's conversation, we're going to set up this integration. And so let's do so at that folder level. To do this, I'm going to make sure I'm in that particular folder. Then I'm going to navigate to my admin section there, over here rather, and then over to apps and integrations. And then I'm going to be presented with all the different native integrations that Vidyard supports. Now from here, I'm going to want to look for the platform I want to integrate with. And so in this case, we're just going to be talking about regular HubSpot. You may have noticed I do have Video Agent set up here, or has something we can set up here as well. For now though, let's just set up regular HubSpot. And so to do that, we're going to go ahead and just click Add. And there may be a situation where you're going to need to authenticate yourself. I admittedly did this just prior to today's call, but all we need you to do is just log into your HubSpot instance. You might need to authenticate yourself on your phone and then authenticate yourself again via the multi-factor authentication that's supported there, and sometimes even again, depending on how secure your organizations are. But ultimately, you're able to get to a point where you could then select which HubSpot account you then want to connect to, and it's really as easy as that. Once you select that and choose the account, we will then connect those, and we are now good to go. And HubSpot is now connected to our instance. So pretty easy in this respect. What this is going to allow us to do is ultimately present video data within the activity feed or timeline within HubSpot. So perhaps something like this, where when we're sharing videos with people and then people then watch those videos, we could then reflect the fact that somebody watched whatever percentage of a video right here within the activity feed in HubSpot, once we have that connection tied to between Vidyard and our HubSpot instance. This can also allow us to leverage this engagement data to trigger additional flows, which we'll take a look at later via various workflows within HubSpot, as well as to trigger different follow-up actions, like perhaps lead scoring, for example, or putting people into particular cadences or sequences. All of this can be done as people watch videos. While we're talking about it, I may as well quickly show you a quick preview of this. Here we are just within some random workflow where we could see things like if somebody watches a particular Vidyard video that's maybe titled away or has some certain tags or attributes against it, increase their lead score, create a contact owner task, maybe even generate a video using Vidyard's video agent. All sorts of really cool things you can do here from a reporting and attribution perspective as well. And so, at least with respect to that, that's pretty much it there, at least with respect to setting it up. In addition to the integration being set up here as it is, well, also in addition to being able to see the metrics here and being able to see how video data could then trigger additional workflows, it's worth noting that marketing teams can also take videos that are within Vidyard once the integration is set up. Let's just take, let's say this video here, for example. And I could then get an embed code for this video for an embed code for an email campaign right within HubSpot or any other partner platform. And I could copy these embed codes and pop them right into our HTML modules within HubSpot to have those videos then show up to then attribute views to different people. All to say, there's all sorts of really great functionality we could engage in between HubSpot and Vidyard. The first step, though, is just to get that integration set up, which is as easy as just clicking that Add Integration button. Okay, that's the first use case. What does it look like to get set up? Any questions y'all have about that, feel free to throw them into the chat. It's worth noting that if you have been to our previous sessions, a general theme about the Vidyard platform is to generally be as easy as possible to use and to not be too obstructive or too obtrusive. And so the fact that we try to make this as seamless of a workflow as possible to get you all integrated is kind of consistent with that theme. And hopefully we continue to see that theme along not only today's session, but others as well. Okay, let's look at another use case. The next one is what does it look like to connect Vidyard with other tools, whether it be a CRM or other marketing tools? What does that look like, and what can we do in that respect? Well, what we saw is pretty much all you got to do for all the other platforms as well. If we pop back into our integration section here, mind you, I'm in a different account now, but regardless, we're going to see that there are a lot of different systems we integrate with. There's Marketo, there's Salesforce, there's SalesLoft, there's Gong, there's Outreach, there's so many others as well that aren't even on this list. And so you may be wondering, is the process really complicated to get this all set up? And thankfully, it really isn't. All you have to do is simply add integration to, or rather add it click on add for whatever card you want to integrate with, and we will then get you connected. I do want to bear in mind, though, that this is not an exhaustive list. Vidyard has quite a bit more beyond what's presented there, including some other platforms, including Groove, it looks like as well. So we should be able to work with platforms that you're connected with. And if we're not, then yeah, we could certainly speak about maybe setting up a bespoke connection if required. We do support Zapier connections as well. We have an open API as well. So there's a lot of flexibility there with respect to what we could work with, who we could work with, and what workflows we can facilitate. It's just a matter of getting in touch with us and we can see what's possible.
Sorry to interrupt, Benny.
Oh,
Just a
no, no.
quick question. I just want to address how would it be useful integrating with Gmail?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I think that speaks really well potentially to our next use case. So
Oh,
if you don't mind holding on to
got
that
it.
thought, I will definitely address that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and yeah, seeing other questions pop in here, Pipedrive, Groove, Gmail as well. Yep, as mentioned in the question. There are reasons why we connect with all these platforms. Generally speaking, though, it's to make it as easy as possible to leverage those platforms with video incorporated within. So let's say for tools that are involved in sending out outreach, let's say, Vidyard is going to try to make it as easy as possible to retrieve videos to be able to send out as part of your outreach or even to do so at scale. For systems that capture video view information, we're going to try to present that information within those platforms, let you know that contacts are integrating with, or sorry, contacts are watching whatever piece of content you're sending out. And if there's perhaps workflows that could be triggered from that content, then that can also be done as well. And yeah, and then certainly from a marketing perspective, being able to take videos and present it within email campaigns or on your website, Vidyard also tries to make as easy as possible to either retrieve or retrieve embed codes, retrieve videos, and pop them into those areas. Generally speaking, if video is part of your strategy, as part of your outreach strategy or engagement strategy, then how Vidyard integrates with the tools within your tech stack are generally just to make that inclusion of video that much more seamless within those respective platforms. But we'll see what I mean by that as we actually take a look at a couple other examples. Yeah, Salesforce Marketing Cloud is also there. But yeah, I just actually threw in a list of all of our integrations here, actually this very same page, where you could kind of go through and see exactly what we support there. It's worth noting that from a marketing perspective, you may have noticed we kind of talked about Marketo in here. Eloqua can be supported, all sorts of cool workflows that can be supported there. Kind of already alluded to what those look like at a high level. So if, let's say, in a marketing tool, we're sending out videos, being able to retrieve embed codes from Vidyard, perhaps by doing something like this here, coming into my library and getting a video and then getting my embed code for or whichever platform again, we try to make it be easy here. But then, as people then watch those videos, also being able to reflect that information right within an activity feed here, we try to make as easy as possible. There's all sorts of metadata that we pass across into these various platforms. And then, probably most interestingly, as people then watch videos, we already saw this in HubSpot, but here within Marketo, we could also say things like if somebody watches a particular percentage of a particular video that's named something or titled a certain way or has certain custom attributes on it, then do something. Change their lead score, add them to a particular campaign, add them to a something or another. All of this you could do leveraging video view data. Okay, now on to our next use case, which is this idea of being able to sync your video library to platforms like Gmail or like Salesforce or other ones like that, in order to be able to retrieve videos and send them off very seamlessly within our workflows. Now, just before we do that, I do want to quickly touch on something that we've already kind of touched on today a little bit, but it is worth reiterating. And if you've ever attended a demo with me, I tend to reiterate this probably more than I should, but it's a good feature and it's worth talking about, which is our folder structure again. So this folder structure again allows you to organize content in all sorts of different ways. You could set up default rules against different folders so that certain people have access to it, so that videos within those folders present themselves in a certain way, maybe with different logos or different call to actions within. Again, all sorts of cool functions within folders. Again, integrations, as we talked about not too long ago. Um, and so, generally speaking, what we see a lot of teams do are leverage these folders to organize their content, not only just for their own internal purposes, but also for their sales teams or their CS teams or their marketing teams to very easily be able to retrieve the videos that they need for the specific purpose of whatever type of outreach they're engaging in, whether it be a one-to-many type campaign, perhaps in Marketo, or perhaps maybe it's a one-to-one email that we want to send out to somebody or to a group of people within Gmail. That's these integrations generally try to support rather than the folder structures allow us to organize videos in such a way that we could retrieve those videos easily via these integrations into these respective platforms. And so let's say I have some demo folders where I have just demo content and a customer testimonial folder where I have, let's say, a sizzle reel of all sorts of happy customers I have, and some micro demo folders too that sales reps may want to include within my video, within their outreach. As opposed to having to record a video every single time, what they instead can do is simply leverage the video content we already have. Now, what does that look like? Well, let's take a look at this within the context of Gmail first. Please forgive the number of unread emails I have in my inbox. I'm a true believer in that there's two types of people in the world, those that are very particular with respect to keeping that number as low as possible, and others that don't care as much about that. And so I very
I'm
much
with
am in the
you,
latter camp.
Vinny. I have a lot too.
Amazing. Yeah.
I'm with you. You're not alone.
Okay, I'm in good company. That makes me feel good. Thank you. Um, and so yeah, so here we are just within my Gmail here. And within Gmail, we're going to see if we have the Vidyard Chrome extension installed, we're going to see a little icon here, in particular our VBot, where we'll be able to click into this to open up our partner app, which essentially calls out all the videos that live within my instance of Vidyard. If you're using platforms like Salesforce or Salesloft or Gong, that icon rather more or less looks the same. There are some differences across platforms though. So for example, that's what this looks like within Gmail. Within Salesforce is very much the same. If I were to come here to HubSpot though, we're going to see that the screen is going to look a little different, but the how we get there might look a little different, but the screen is going to be effectively the same. Where here I'm just going to click on my email icon. I'm going to click on insert video and Vidyard there. And then here we just have the exact same screen now just within a HubSpot interface. Now, what's happening within this screen is pretty much, as mentioned, access to our Vidyard library. I didn't really call this out beforehand, probably should have. But within our folder structure, there are kind of two different types of folders that you have. The first type of folder is your personal folder. So these are videos that you create yourself or that you upload specifically to your personal folder. Those are all just going to live in your own section. And then there's going to be all those shared folders as well. So those are those types of videos that'll be things that are typically used across the organization. So marketing promo content, testimonial videos, micro demos that people may be using. These are the ones that typically people organize within all those different subfolders. And so within the various applications that we're sending out these videos from, so in this case, Gmail, if I want to quickly include a video within, I don't have to necessarily record a video and then attach it using that clip, the paper clip there. Instead, I simply click on my Vidyard icon. I could find the videos I want to share with this person. So maybe I want to share this video, but maybe there's a really great micro demo I also want to include. Well, all I got to do is simply navigate to my micro demo folder or my webinar folder or whatever is appropriate. I'm just going to select this video for now. And then let's say we want to create a playlist out of these videos. Maybe there's multiple videos I want to share. Vidyard will automatically create a playlist on the fly for you. And you could then reorder that playlist right from here so that when we then share it with this particular recipient, they then receive a singular place they could go to watch both of those videos if they'd so wish to. It works pretty much the exact same way within HubSpot as well. So do the exact same thing. Let's just select this video, for example, and maybe let's do the same thing. Let's select another random video here and let's share that. And same type of deal, we'll then automatically pop that video directly into the message as so. And so ultimately, we try to make that as easy as possible to allow your teams to be able to retrieve the videos they need to find, you select them, pop them directly in here to make it as easy for your contacts to be able to watch these videos, all without you having to have actually left the platform that you're sending these videos out from. Again, today we're looking at HubSpot here. We saw Gmail briefly, but really any of the other platforms that you'll see on that integration page can support this as well. Okay. Next, what we will talk about is actually something that we just talked about, which is that idea of being able to send out videos through Gmail, Outlook, and others. Actually, since we already talked about that, there's probably one more thing I should throw on here with respect to sending out videos from HubSpot, which is that idea of one-to-many videos. We kind of touched on it briefly with respect to email campaigns and being able to retrieve embed codes from Vidyard. But just to call it out one more time, within Vidyard, in addition to those one-to-one emails that you're sending out, you could also take these videos and pop them into sequence templates if you'd so wish to. If you watch some of our AI workshop videos in the past, you may recall that we looked at how it looks like to send out videos in bulk, AI videos in bulk via sequences. But even if we have a generic video that we want to send out, very easy to do to simply retrieve an embed code here for our specified platform of choice. If we are going to want to leverage the Vidyard branded page, so these would be pages that we're hosting for you, but you can actually brand however you want to with your own headers, your own footers, other elements on the pages as you'd like. If you want to be able to present videos within pages like those, you can just use our default video share page. But if you, let's say, have a video living within a blog post within your own landing pages, you can also simply copy this embed code to a custom URL where this video will then link out to that custom URL that that video then lives in. Simply copy your embed code here, pop it directly into your template, your HTML module within HubSpot in this case, or your other distribution platforms of choice. And it's really easy to do for you to then be able to pop that video in, send it off to a whole bunch of different contacts. And then as people then watch those videos, we'll be able to attribute those views to each of those different contacts, which will then be reflected back into their activity feeds, which could then potentially trigger additional flows from there. Okay. So that's what that piece looked like. Again, there's quite a few tools beyond just the ones that we're talking about explicitly that we support these flows for. If you have additional questions with respect to whether or not your specific platform is supported or not, never hesitate to reach out and ask. More than happy to help you all with that. And then whether a bespoke integration would be required or not, there are ways to make that happen as well. And so always happy to have that conversation. And yep, actually, here is just saw a question pop in about Marketing Cloud. We do support that. So yeah, we could certainly work with you there. And if you have some cool workflows, maybe leveraging Journey Optimizer or Journey Builder, there's some cool things that customers are doing with that as well within Marketing Cloud. I would say, generally speaking, integrations are so interesting to me. They're so powerful and they unlock so much power, not only within Vidyard, but within those other platforms as well. So, yeah, more than happy to jump on calls with folks to help you all out with respect to how to do this. And then, yeah, seeing a question come in around how to create simple email campaigns with HubSpot. I know there are some limitations on the HubSpot side of things where you do require certain paid versions of HubSpot to make things work. We could get you more information on that if we don't have it off the top of our heads. But yeah, I'm more than happy to jump on a call afterwards if required to help out with that.
And sorry, Benny, if we had time for a few more questions,
Of course,
feel
yeah.
free to let me know if you're also showcasing this later. Mike asked, can you please show how we integrate an Excel database into an email campaign?
Yeah, so that might be best for a call, Mike, perhaps that we set up afterwards. It'll really depend what platform you're sending that email campaign from. There are ways to do it even in platforms like Outlook. I always feel like it's more antiquated than it needs to be in there, but there are ways to send out email campaigns from Outlook by configuring your Excel and Outlook together. But if you're using a platform like HubSpot, it could certainly be easier to import that information in via Excel and then send out a campaign from there. Yeah, let's set up some time afterwards and we could jump on a call and try to figure that out.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And then Sky asked, is there a way to save the video to the respective folder after recording, or do I need to log into a library and move it afterwards?
Great question. So there are a couple options we have in that respect as well. So when you're getting videos into folders, there's three ways you could do that. One of them is what you mentioned. You could create a video and then move it. So any video in your library, you can move it to any other video in your library. As you can see right over here, click move, and we can move it over like that. The other way is to go into our folder of choice. And so here, I'm just going to go into a folder that I probably won't get in as much trouble for if I were to move things around in there. Um, let's see, Demo Hub. There we go. And so another way is to simply come into the actual folder itself that we want to create the video for, and then upload our video right from here. And then the third way that we could get videos into a particular folder is leveraging our uploader widget. Now, for those of you that aren't as aware of this, and maybe we'll do another session another time on hosting specifically, but with respect to our uploader widget, what that allows us to do is essentially create some sort of an interface to allow people to upload videos to specific folders without them having to log into the Vidyard platform to allow them to do that. And so I'm just going to pull up a quick example as to what this can look like. Bear with me for one moment as I do that. I think this one has it set up. Here we go. Okay, perfect. So here I have, for example, a bunch of random nature videos. And within this particular folder, what I've set up is this uploader widget. So under my tools section, I want to click on uploader widget. And within this widget, I essentially can create something that I could give to other people or share with myself that allows me to simply upload videos directly to that folder without having to actually come into the Vidyard environment to do so. There's all sorts of cool rules and configurations you could set up on a per widget basis so that one widget maybe can do more than another widget. But yeah, you could set it up so that you could upload different files. And then as you do so, if people do so from this link, they could then have those videos automatically be thrown into that specific folder. Very common use case for this might be around customer testimonials, where perhaps you're collecting a bunch of feedback from customers, they're recording videos, recording their experiences with you, and maybe traditionally you've had to take those videos and save them to your computer and then upload them into the platform. Instead, what you could have them do is just have them navigate to this link, have them upload the videos directly into this little portal here, and those videos will automatically get uploaded to the specified folder that this portal was created or this widget was created for, which could be a pretty seamless flow for y'all. Um, and so that would be how you do it that way. And if you want to save a video to a particular folder after recording, simply take the video wherever it exists, wherever it defaults to, which will likely be your personal folder, and then just move it to the specified folder from there. I do that all the time internally here at Vidyard, where I'll create a video for, let's say, another sales rep or something, and I'll record that video and then move it into their personal folder for them to be able to share out within their own Gmail the way that we saw earlier. And that's as simple as really what we've seen already, where we could simply take whatever video you want to share. Oh, not click that though. Instead, click move, and then put it into whichever folder we deem appropriate. Okay, lots of great questions there. How about we dive to another use case? Okay, so the next use case is this idea of sending out videos and adding tracking to the videos that we're sending. So we're talking a lot about sending out videos, and it might sound a little weird to say, but it is true in that Vidyard does certainly make it easy to share out videos with different people in all sorts of different contexts. arguably sometimes too easy in certain situations. Yeah, and believe it or not, there can be maybe the right way to share videos with customers once you get to the point where you're doing it consistently. And what do I mean by that? Because that sounds crazy, which fair enough, I guess. So essentially, all that I mean by that is that within Vidyard, if you're sharing videos the right way or in a proper way, which there are multiple methods to do, it gives us the best chance to be able to identify who it is that's watching those videos in order to attribute the views to those specific people so that within our Marketos and within our HubSpots and within our Salesforces, we could then attribute those views to those people to then trigger those additional flows that we'd want, maybe enroll them into sequences or change their lead score or whatever it may be. And so a quick visual example of that actually is this right over here, where let's say I have, I don't know, let's just click on this video here. And if I want to share this video with someone, you're going to see that by default, this video has a share link to it. But I could also tokenize this share link by making it specific to a particular person, which can allow me to then take that link and send it off to them and allow me to then attribute that view to them specifically. So let's just say if I just throw in a fake email address here, we're going to see that that link has changed. It's no longer just the generic share link. It now has this Vidyard email token appended to the back of it, which now when used, when somebody then clicks into this particular link with that token on it, we'll be able to attribute that view and that person to being Binny at abc.com. This isn't the only method, though, we use to do this. There are multiple methods we support. Let's say within HubSpot, for example. If we share the video using the sharing link that we just saw there, we're going to see here that the URL of that video isn't just going to be a standard URL of that video, but rather here again is that VYE token that's now tied to the specific recipient within HubSpot. So when we send this off to them, we could attribute the view to them. Salesforce works the exact same way. SalesLoft all works the exact same way. Essentially, we just try to make it easy for you to be able to not only take the videos and pop them in, but then also attribute those views to the right person versus, let's say, just taking any particular video here. Here I am just within our Chrome extension where I could then just get a share link for a video. Using the generic share link isn't going to usually capture as good results for us unless we have something like an email gate set up on the video, which is another conversation. But yeah, all to say, there's all sorts of ways to apply tracking to these, and you just want to make sure you're doing it properly.
And I just want to add like a quick use case. If we're using the partner app via Gmail or like I use SalesLoft, it's automatically like tokenized on the back end, and that's where you track it. So definitely use like the Gmail extension, and then yeah, you'll be able to track it that way.
Exactly. Yeah, no, great call out there. The partner app, we try to make that experience as seamless as possible within the platforms that you're using. Just a quick reminder, the partner app is this interface here, so that ability to click into some sort of a Vidyard icon or video icon and then gain direct access to your Vidyard library. That is exactly what Anna's talking about here. Okay, cool. So now we've taken a look at what it looks like to share these videos. We obviously looked previously at what it looks like to create them. What we'll next take a look at is something we have also already kind of taken a peek at, but it is worth mentioning again, which is that idea of once we send these videos out to people, what happens then as they're watching these videos? You know, what's being tracked, what isn't being tracked, et cetera, et cetera. And so first off, let me just call out within Vidyard, we naturally are collecting all sorts of information. Let's see, if I go into a particular folder, I'm just going to go to one that I know has a bunch of views on it. You'll be able to see the types of metrics that we capture within Vidyard. So here I'm just going to navigate to this folder. Also gives you a sense of how easy it is to navigate through these folders. And I'm going to go to a particular video in here and take a look at its views. So here's the types of metrics that we can capture on videos. We can see things like who's watching a video, when they watched the video, where they watched it from, and probably most interestingly, what specific parts of the video do they watch? If they repeated parts of the video, the percentage watched the video, all that we can see from here. There's all sorts of great insights we can see across multiple viewing sessions rather against this video, against multiple video views across multiple videos. Lots of great analytics that we present here within Vidyard. But we're talking about integrations today. So what can we present in other platforms? Well, we've already seen some of it. So using HubSpot here, for example, again, here we have some video views presenting themselves on the timeline. These video views can also be presented within your Salesforce contact or lead pages or within the Marketo activity log that we saw, or Eloqua has one as well. Gong activity feeds. I guess I can just list off a bunch of engagement platforms and how we present video views in there. But yeah, that's what we do. And then also, if we don't integrate natively with a platform, we do have a great analytics webhook that can shoot off analytic details to pretty much any third-party platform you'd like, whether it be I don't know, your BI tool or just some other engagement platform you have, or maybe you have a custom build going on. We could pass information into all of those. We support integrations with GA4 as well. So all sorts of cool analytics that you could leverage to do with video data. And then within specific platforms that are capturing this information, oftentimes they also support some sort of workflow function within. And so this too can leverage video view data to trigger various workflows, whether it be to change a lead score or to add a task for the contact owner or to add somebody to a particular sequence or flow based upon what content they're engaging with. There's quite a lot that you could leverage there. And from a final reporting perspective, at least here within HubSpot, we'll talk about all sorts of great details that Vidyard is introducing uh, to um, to HubSpot in this particular case. So if you're familiar with reporting within HubSpot, you could use these filters however you'd like to create the reports that you need to. Maybe taking Salesforce as an example, there's all sorts of great custom objects that we're sending across, or sorry, custom fields rather that we're sending across into Salesforce. And so being able to generate reports via a reporting managed package is very easy. We do support all sorts of reports out of the box, but then there's all sorts of attribution reports you can build out yourself. And so it pretty much works the same way across these platforms. All sorts of really great insights you can leverage from video view data. And then there's all sorts of great workflows you can then trigger based upon that, in addition to the reports that you can generate as well. Okay, that was a lot of information. I'm happy that we're recording this all so you don't have to take notes. But yeah, let's just bring this all together and kind of summarize a little bit as to what we've seen here today. So today we've talked a lot about how to make Vidyard fit more naturally into your workflows, regardless of the tools that you're using. We covered how to connect Vidyard with HubSpot, as well as talked a little bit about how we could do so within other platforms like other CRMs, engagement tools, or marketing tools. We've talked about syncing across those integrations and those systems to the right folders within Vidyard, how to then use those folders to navigate through our video library to then be able to select the videos that we care about to send out through platforms like Gmail or Salesforce or Outlook. I know we're going to take a look at it there, but that is also possible, as well as how you can do so properly so that tracking is able to be leveraged so that we could then attribute views to viewers when they're watching them, and then potentially have that trigger workflows in subsequent systems from there. And that last part is really the key because the goal isn't really so much about sending more videos. It's about being able to take advantage of, or rather, how to make video more useful when you're sending them out. So it's not so much about the quantity so much as perhaps the quality of what you're getting out of it. Because ultimately, if somebody watches your videos, they watch your follow-up or your product walkthrough or your customer update, that tells you something. That's a real intent signal that you're top of mind. You're on their radar. They obviously just watch your content, so they care about it. They're engaging with you. Maybe you're also able to dig into exactly what parts of the video they watched as well to see what specific parts they're watching. And that engagement not only just lives in Vidyard or in your head, it shows up within HubSpot. It shows up within these partner platforms, which ultimately gives you and your team better context as to what you need to do next.
Yeah, so to keep the momentum going, what you can do starting today is check your HubSpot integration, make sure it's connected, and then review the folders that are synced to take advantage of that. And then just send one tracked video a week through Gmail or Outlook, even to test it with like a colleague or customer, or not customer, colleague, or family member and friends, just to see how the tracking works. And then also you get email notifications as well. So that's really cool. And then, yeah, before you follow up, look at the contact timeline to see what exactly they watched that Benny showed earlier, the little heat maps that you get throughout the video. And so that's kind of really just the habit we want you to start building is to send the video, track the engagement, use that signal to follow up in a smarter way. For example, for me, a lot of times if anyone watched a video, I'll either pick up the phone and give them a call because typically they're on by their phone or laptop or something within those few minutes. So it's a really great way to start a conversation, making cold calls a little bit easier, or also following up with like a quick email because, like Benny said, you have their attention, you're top of mind. And so it's a great way to have a follow-up email with value add. So it's just to make sure your messaging sticks a lot more.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. And hey, I mean, if you have friendly enough customers, you could test with them as well, I
Yeah.
suppose. But yeah, no, definitely agreed. It's really about just working that muscle, about getting started, getting used to using it, and then once you start to see those results come in, it kind of just continues on naturally. Okay, so that was today's session. Thanks so much for attending. If you've found some value in all of this and continue to do so, definitely save the date for our next ones happening relatively soon over on June 4th, where we're going to be covering all sorts of cool topics like enabling view notifications, understanding what metrics actually mean, how to interpret those metrics, being able to review engagement insights for individual videos, similar to what we saw a little bit of here today, as well as leveraging those insights to guide viewer follow-ups and outreach, as Anna has spoken to over the course of today as well. Yeah, so definitely save the date. Thank you so much for coming. Any additional questions we have here, definitely we shall take. And certainly when it comes to connecting, we also have an easy way to do that here as well. So yeah, definitely book time with us. Just use the QR code to book in and we'll get a call set up. And yeah, I guess any other questions that we may have before we close off here today? I don't know. In the meantime, though, yeah, hope again you found this all very helpful. Yeah, stay warm if it's cool where you're at. Stay cool if it's too hot where you're at. Also stay dry too if it's raining too much, especially for the long weekend. I hope it is a lovely time for all y'all. I guess Anna, thank you so much for attending as well. I really appreciate your help here, and yeah, such great insights you shared. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to answer one question that came in, will there be a link to this webinar for sharing with my team? Absolutely. I'll just be following up with you after today, and I'll be sending you a link as well to today's webinar.
Amazing. All right, well, thanks so much, everybody.
Thank
Look forward to
you.
seeing you all on the next one, and hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. All right.